Okay, we are back for our sixth and final session of the evening. If you're just tuning in with us, welcome. Our final presentation is helping parents of English language learners navigate the virtual education landscape. Presenting this session today is Ms. Iracema Cias and Mr. Carlos Martinez. Iracema has been in Dallas ISD for 7 years and is currently a coordinator in the bilingual ESL department. Carlos has been in Dallas ISD for 6 years and is also a coordinator in the bilingual ESL department. At this time, I will turn it over to you, presenters.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Ms. Cias and myself are very happy to be with all of you here today.
Yes, technology nowadays is running fast, and as parents, we need to adapt to the new changes. I want to start by saying thank you for being here. You are a very dedicated parent or guardian that is looking for tools to help and support your child at home in the virtual environment. You may feel a little scary of this new transition, but let's call it adventure. Because now you will have an addition title. You may be the home teacher, the private tutor, the super mom, the super dad, the super tia, super grandma, and yes, you are incredible because you are lending student support with a magnetic motivation. Welcome to our presentation, and I hope you enjoy it. Mr. Martinez.
Thank you. Parents, we want to talk to you about important things that we have to get going before we start virtual school. And the first thing we want to talk about is setting a virtual learning space for students to complete their work. The first thing we want to share with you is to, as a family, get together and choose the place where the students will be completing their assignments. This space can be anywhere in the house. It could be the living room table, the kitchen table, the bedroom. It doesn't have to be a fancy office or a fancy desk. It just has to be a space where the students can get their work done. This can be a good experience for students to share how they will feel comfortable working from home. Number 2, as parents, you know your children better than we do, and you know what things are easy for them to get distracted. So if you know that your child gets distracted easily when they're playing with their toys, using their cell phone or TV, it will be very useful if you can limit the use of those electronics and devices while they're completing school assignments. The third one will be for parents to make a list of things you want to do before the beginning of every day. For example, if your child is in elementary school, you can have a list of things you need to have done before the class begins, like having the materials ready and the technology devices on the right platform that they will be using. Now, for our middle school and high school students, we can give them more responsibility. For example, middle school and high school students can charge their own devices the night before so they can have things ready for class. And they can also have a copy of their class schedule so they know which classes will be taking every day. And last but not least, having a clean area of work. Students do this very often in the classroom. Before they leave onto the next class, they have to leave their area of work clean and ready for the next student. So we can use that at home as well, having a clean area where they can have their books and things that they're going to be using every day in class. Now Ms. Cias is going to talk to us about how we can use communication during virtual education.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Parents, let's talk about this amazing topic, communication. When we think about communicating in the school environment, we may imagine having a conversation face-to-face with your child's teacher, the PTA or PTO committee, or seeing your child talking to his or her friends after school. Now, virtually, some of you may feel that this part's gonna be gone, but the answer is no. Navigating in the platform, the students will have the chance to communicate with their teacher and classmates. They will be able to ask questions and interact virtually. I have 3 main keys of communication that you can consider as a parent to reach communication between your child, teacher, and school staff. Number 1, get a notebook and write your child's school website. A school staff contact, such as your child's teacher, CRC, clerk, nurse, PTA, PTO, etc. And be open to ask questions or share concerns to ensure your child is ready to start school virtually. Number 2, make sure to set up your PowerSchool account to monitor your child's grades, daily attendance, and to communicate with the teacher for questions. Some of you may be asking yourselves, where can I get the PowerSchool account? If your child was enrolled last year, you already have an account. If you forgot your user and password, you can contact the school CRC to give you support. Remember that you can also use this tool to do your child's enrollment. And number 3, and last but most important for us, is to have constant communication with your children and ask them questions. For example, are you enjoying your virtual classes? Do you need support with your homework? How was your virtual class today? But most important, how are you feeling? Remember that if you feel that your child is stressing or getting anxious, call your school to talk to the counselor. Mental health is important while adjusting to the virtual learning. So now let's learn more about daily work schedule with Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, Ms. Diaz. Parents, having a daily class schedule at home is very important in order to have success with virtual classes. Now, the parents can set up their schedule based on the student's age and grade. For example, if your child is in kinder or first grade, their schedule will be different than the one in middle school or high school. So it's important that you talk to your child about and know what classes they're going to be taking in order to create a schedule that is better for them. When you create a schedule, also add time for them to do some exercise. They can either go into the backyard and kick the ball or run around, or if you want to walk around the neighborhood with them, that's also very helpful. This helps the student distress and get some energy. Once you have a schedule, once you have decided on the schedule, please try not to avoid constant changes in them, because changing the schedule very often will definitely have a negative impact on your student. When you have the schedule made up, you can print the schedule or write it down and post it near where the students will be working. This way, the students will know what tasks they have to complete during that day and at what time. And this will also help the parents monitor the students' work. Now, Ms. Diaz is going to talk to us about the importance of logging daily into the learning platforms.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Okay, so let's talk about logging in every day. So logging in every day is the parent and student responsibility. While we are all adjusting to the new schedule, it's important, as Mr. Martinez mentioned, to have a phone alarm and follow the reading of the day. This will support your child on adapting faster. Daily logging in is kind of like an expectation, because taking virtual classes is kind of like part of taking, it's the same as taking face-to-face classes, and it's important as taking virtual classes. So if I'm gonna take a class on Monday, the teacher is gonna be expecting for my child to be present in the computer. So a student needs to be present and try their best to be in class and do their classwork, homework, and assignments. As parents, we want to make sure they are logging in to the classroom platform on time and every day. And now let's learn more about attendance with Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, Ms. Diaz. So parents, even though our students will be working from home, it's very important that they know that the attendance is still very important. Before school begins, different teachers, the students' teachers will be having parent-teacher conferences to go over how virtual learning is going to work. During those sessions, they will talk about attendance. So it's important that parents write down how the teachers will be taking attendance daily. For elementary school parents, they can help their elementary school students. And for middle school and high school students, they can be a little bit more responsible and take attendance on their own. Parents and students that have a cell phone, they can set up a reminder so they know that they have to take attendance every morning. If the school is asking for everyone to take attendance before 10 a.m. every day, the students and the parents can set up a reminder at 9 a.m. or 9:30 to let them know that it's time to submit their attendance. Believe me, it's easy to forget these things that we do every day. So that's why it's important that we can use technology in our favor and set up those daily reminders. Now, Mrs. is going to share with us something that is very important, how our students can have access to technology.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. And as you mentioned, it's important to be adapting to the new schedule. So it's important to have something visual for the student so they can see what time they need to log in. And like you say, have an alarm just to make sure the first week so they recognize that at 9:30 they have to log in to submit the attendance. So if you choose on this time, if you have the opportunity for your child to take classes virtually or at home, but don't have internet access or a technology device, Dallas ISD is here to give the student and parent support. The Technology and Professional and Digital Learning Department will support students with devices and internet access. Parents and high school students can submit the technology request at www.dallasisd.org/domain/161. You can also capture a picture right now if you are watching the Zoom in your phone, but we can also give you the resources for more information.
Thank you, Mrs. Now we have, for all the parents that have students at home that are learning English, here are some helpful tips on how they can support the child at home. Reading is fundamental. Regardless if the student is in kinder or in 12th grade, reading is always going to be very helpful. So parents, we invite you to set up a time to read with your child at home, even if it's for one time a week. Make sure you choose a place where it's comfortable and without distractions, and so you can read with your child. Read a book that your child likes, especially in English, so they can practice more the vocabulary and the reading skills they have learned at school. Also, if your child is working from home, you can help your child by giving them some trust, letting them work independently, letting them know learn how to manage their time and set priorities. Parents can walk around them and see that they're staying in task, but it's always very helpful to give them a sense of trust, that we can trust that they can get things done. I know it's not very easy, but it's always helpful to give them that sense of trust. Trust me, they will be very happy about that. And also, for our English learners, we invite the parents to share with the students rhymes and storytelling and songs in English so they can get more accustomed into the language. Now, Mrs. is going to share important information with us about how we can support our students who are part of our dual language program.
If your child is in the dual language program, here are some tips to support your student to increase their language skills. Number 1, when your child is allowed to have screen time, watch together their favorite movie in Spanish for English-speaking students and a movie in English for Spanish-speaking students. It will support the students to see the images and with listening skills, to support translanguage and connect words as a puzzle. I highly recommend turn on closed captions to allow your child to see and recognize vocabulary. For both English learners and Spanish learners, remember that listening to music and, most important, reading books every day is the key of language acquisition success. Now, Mr. Martinez will give us a list of free online resources.
Thank you, Mrs. At this time, parents, if you would like to take a picture of the screen so you can have a copy of this website that I'm going to mention, or you can also take a look at all this while for the presentation that is going to be recorded. I want to focus on two of them. The first one is BrainPop ELL. BrainPop is a website that covers all the different subjects that the student learn at school. I remember when I was in school, our teachers will use it often. It's a very fun website, and now they have added a section for ELL students, English language learners, where they can learn English in a fun and entertaining way. The second one I want to focus on is Epic. If your child loves to read, I definitely recommend this website because it's a digital library where they can browse many books that they can choose from. So Epic is a great website for all the students that love to read. Now we're going to move on to our next slide where Ms. Ciaz is going to close our presentation.
We would love to conclude our presentation with this quote. Children are the priority. Change is the reality, and collaboration is the strategy. By Judith Billings. Parents and guardians, we cannot make this possible without your support. We are all adapting to the new evolution, and teachers, school staff, community, and parents are the pillars for student success. Have a great 2020-2021 school year. Let's stay positive and motivated. Remember that you are not alone. And the Margaret and Gilbert Herrera Student Intake Center is here from 8 to 5, and it's open from Monday to Friday to give you support with any questions. Please call us at 972-749-5760. Our physical address is 9400 North Central Expressway, Dallas, Texas, 75231, Suite 200. Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, Ms. Diaz. Now, Ms. Diaz and I are happy to take some answers from our audience.
Okay, it is now time for our Q&A session. I have the most frequently asked questions from our live Q&A feed, and I will give our presenters the opportunity to answer those questions at this time. First one, what is the best way to make schedules when you have children at different grade levels?
Yes, so it's different. I would say we have to personalize each schedule. And like the first slide, if you can go back later and watch the first slide, we give you some things about organizing. That's the main key. So organize your child. Like I said, you don't have to have a fancy desk. You don't have to have fancy stuff. You don't have to even have a printer. You can do it manually. You can use colors. I love to use color coding, different colors. For example, pink can be for the girl, or pink can be for whatever is the favorite color. And then you can place your students in different rooms or in a different area of whatever they're going to be study. I strongly recommend to have a meeting. I would love for you to come together as a family and have meetings together and say, okay, I'm going to choose, for example, the living room, and I'm going to choose the table, or I'm going to choose the dinner table, etc. So make sure to have with the schedule, I want to say, just have it visual for them in the different areas and have organization skills.
Okay, thank you. Next question. If I don't speak English, can I still read aloud with my child in Spanish?
I'll answer that question. Yes. Parents should definitely continue to read, regardless if it's English or their native language. Reading is always fundamental. The students might have more access to English book at the library or online, but if the parents can read at home Spanish books, they can also do that as well. It always will be very beneficial. It could be in Spanish or it could be their home language. Reading, it's always crucial. It's an important pillar in the education of each child, regardless of the language and regardless of the grade they're in.
Okay, thank you. How can I help my child if I don't speak English?
If you don't speak English, I'm going to say this. Parent engagement is more than speaking another language. I'm going to say the parent engagement in connecting with your child, how to do social and emotional learning at home, it's more moral. It's knowing that your child know that you're going to be there for them, no matter if you speak the language or you don't speak the language. They will eventually know, will learn from the students when they're transitioning, when they're learning English. Like I said, watch movie together. So if you don't speak, let's say if you don't speak English, you speak Spanish, and you want to learn a little bit of English, watch movies together. Turn on closed captions and trying to understand and connect those letters, do the translanguage, make the puzzle, put together the images, listen, and at the same time, try to connect with the words. I guarantee you will learn English. You're both gonna learn English. You're both gonna learn at the same time. But most important is if you have a native language at home, I suggest you speak that language at home. So the student doesn't forget, for example, the Spanish, if he's only in general education, but teacher give you support. Everybody, we're here to give you support. If you have any question, please call us at the Intake Center. We're here to support you and give you additional tips.
Okay, thank you. I have two more for you. What kind of support is available at the intake centers?
Yes, I will answer that question. So the intake center primarily takes care of all the students who are brand new to the country. For example, if you are brand new to the country and you are in assistance of learning what schools are available for your child, about transportation, about where to get uniforms, about if your child has some medical condition and how can your student get some support at school. The intake center will guide you to the process when your student is new to the district and new to the country, basically, and helping you move around and learn what's available for you and how we can support you. And this goes not just on the educational field, but on the at home as well.
Okay, thank you. Last, will the bilingual ESL department continue to offer parent sessions? If so, what type of parent sessions?
That's a great question. Yes, we have a list of different events that we have. For example, we have the literacy fair. We don't exactly know how it's going to work now that we're virtually, but we're definitely going to give support. We also have the Latino Family Literacy Project, which is an amazing program for parents that are Spanish speaking and they want to learn English. We learn English through reading, and the reading is bilingual. The books are amazing. They take they're gonna have a plenty library at home that we're gonna send, and they also gonna have the workbook, so they can be learning English. They're gonna have once a week 2-hour class with a teacher, and they're gonna be learning slowly so they can support students at home as well. We also have the ESL classes. The ESL classes is for any parent that doesn't speak English and want to learn English, no matter what country. And then we have tons of programs. We also want to have the College Awareness Conference coming up. So the College Awareness Conference will be focusing on ESL students and ESL parents to learn and navigate and understand more about how can my child get a scholarship. If of all of those questions that are maybe closed, or I don't know how to navigate in high school. I don't know if my child probably is getting 100, but he's probably not going to school, and now they're telling me that he can graduate because he doesn't have all the credits that he was doing good grades. So we want to explain you all of this information that is crucial as parents to know and understand, and we want to have that event coming up later next year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank Irisca Macias and Carlos Martinez for taking the time to present at our Dallas ISD Smart Restart Virtual Parent Conference 2020. Thank you both.